Hey everybody, it's Jeff from the New England Raider Boosters. How you doing? So, let's see. Anybody in yet? No, not yet. So I figured I'd just get on for a little while, try and kind of continue from where I was on Jay Rader's podcast with him. Oops, turn my space heater on. It's a little freaking chilly in this office. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Chris, there you are, buddy. Hang on, let me. Put that in there for you, bro. If you want to come on in, come on in. So, pick 6 is what we got. We got the 6th pick. So, season's over. Got the rest of the Lions and Vikings game on right now. And it's Chris. The Lions got this, obviously. 40 seconds left, 31 Detroit, Minnesota 9. If there's any doubt that what's up, Chris? What's up, brother? Can you hear me? If there's any doubt that the Lions are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs, I don't know what is. I mean, they took that offensive Minnesota and held them to 9 points. I mean, that's pretty freaking impressive. So, can you hear me, Chris?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yep, I can hear you just fine.
Good. I got a new microphone. Tested it out. Awesome.
You've been watching this Lions Vikings game?
My goodness, the defense is killing
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, and so everybody's saying we should get Sam Darnold. Well,
No,
their
no,
offense
why
line a little
not
better.
to?
All right,
Perfect reason. That defense of Detroit, man, they held them to what, 3 field goals? Because I don't think the Vikings never scored a touchdown, right? Man, that's big. Go Detroit. I'm happy for them. I like Dan Campbell. I'm happy for him too.
I'm gonna see. That's good.
I mean, I'd been saying Detroit for a while to make it to the Super Bowl. I think it's kind of a no-brainer now, based on how they've been playing. They just come across like they're unstoppable. But I'd like to see them in Buffalo because we're guaranteed one of them is going to win that's never won a Super Bowl before. And the fact that Detroit's never been there, you know, it's nice for a change to see 2 different teams making it to the Super Bowl. I'm definitely all for that. As long as it's not the Chiefs, I don't care. Well, all the Broncos, all the Chargers.
Well, the Chiefs made sure that they're not going to play Cincinnati in the playoffs when they tank that game.
Yeah.
Because Cincinnati can't. Cincinnati is a cheap killer.
Yeah. I was hoping Cincinnati was going to be able to make it in, but I still think Tampa Bay's the dark horse in this one. Tampa Bay's they're a tough team, man. But we'll see. So, what do you think now? The season's over. How do you?
What
was that?
Well, it went just like I thought it would go. I didn't see Raiders beating the Chargers because they were playing not to play Baltimore.
Yeah.
First round. They were to see the Texans. They want to see Baltimore right now because Baltimore is cooking right now. I'm happy that Jacoby Myers finally got his 1,000 yards receiving. Very happy.
Yeah.
He deserved it because they kept
He
beating.
had a hell of a season, that kid.
Well, he stuck it through. He stuck through all that drama that we had with receivers with
Yep.
Diva Hunt. I call him Diva Adams. I don't call him Diva Hunt.
The funny thing is he finished with more catches than Devontae Adams this season, too.
Yeah.
After all that, he still
I
finished
think,
higher than Devontae.
I think he was hurt. What, 1 or 2 games he might have missed? I can't
Yeah, I
remember
think he missed
correctly.
one or two tops.
But he was always been there. He was always there.
Yep.
So
Yep. Like I said, I was always happy when they made the announcement that we were going to be getting him when McDummy was our head coach. I was kind of happy because I knew what we were getting. Living here in New England, I had seen what he's done in New England, as a wide receiver. So I knew we were getting a good wide receiver, and
yeah,
especially if he was going to play opposite of Devontae, I knew, good things were going to come. What's up, Asylum? So I'm happy with the performance or the production we've gotten out of him, big time. I think we got him for one more year too. I'm not sure. I haven't looked to see what he's got for a contract. So you know what? I'm losing the hat for a little bit. Let the dome shine for a little bit. Had that damn hat on my head all goddamn day today. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping we were going to win today. It just, I mean, it is what it is. We still, we finished with the 6th pick, so we see where we'll go from there. Asylum, you want to come on too? I can send you the link if you want, bro. Let me know. Yeah, so there's still people that are fans that are still hoping that we make some trades and move back up into the earlier picks in the draft. And I'm just not in favor of that at all. We either stay pat at number 6 or we move further back in the draft and get more draft picks. That's my other feeling. Yeah, that's cool, Chris. Whenever you're ready, just let me know. You got the link now, so yeah. Salem, you want to come on? I'll send you the link, man. Hang on, I'll pop it in here. Get to look at your ugly mug for a little bit. Yeah, Chris, once your internet settled down, let me know. If you want to come back in, I'll pull you back in for sure, man. I like having you on here. I like talking with you. You're a cool dude, man. Definitely. Especially when you and I are on the Friday night thing on Rundown and Turfs. That's always a good time, too. But yeah, I don't want to see us lose draft picks to move up to get one of these 2 quarterbacks that I just don't feel that they're the right fit for us. Like I said when I was on with Jay just a little while ago, that I just don't think that I just got a bad feeling. Just something I can't put my finger on why, but there's just something that doesn't sit right with me. I still can't even. If somebody forced me to say, what the problem is, or why don't you like them? It's not that I don't like them. There's just something there that just scares me. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I feel this way, but I just have a bad feeling that if we were to draft them, first of all, they're not even going to play next year unless there's serious circumstances that we have to put them in. So I am not a big fan of using draft picks for players that aren't even going to have an impact on the season that we're in, the upcoming season. When you use a first round draft pick, I want to make sure that it's going to be somebody that you are 100% positive is going to help your team. And by that, I mean immediate impact. Like they're slated to be a starter from day one. So real quick, let me look at this here. we've got the final playoff listings um, for the playoffs coming up. So on the 11th of January, which is next Saturday, we're going to have the Chargers going to playing in Houston at 4:30 on CBS. And then on Saturday, January 11th again, Pittsburgh going back and playing the Ravens again at 8 o'clock on Prime. On Sunday the 12th, we've got 3 games. We've got the Broncos going to Buffalo at 1 o'clock on CBS and Paramount. And then at 4:30 on Fox, we've got the Packers going to Philly to play the Eagles. And then the night game on Sunday is the Commanders going to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers at 7:30 on NBC and Peacock. And then we've got a Monday night game, which was just confirmed after tonight's game ended. Minnesota will be going to Los Angeles to play the Rams at 8 o'clock on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and ESPN2. So we've got a whole weekend of football coming up here, which is exciting in a way. You know, this is where it's, you know, good teams versus good teams. So these games, you know, that's what I like about playoffs. You know, it's the best of the best. You may love some of these teams, you may hate some of these teams, even though we're all Raider fans. You know, you still have other teams that you kind of like. You want to see them do well. Especially if, you know, we're not in the playoffs, you want to have some sort of vested interest, I guess. Except for the Chargers and the Broncos. I want them both to get beat bad. I don't want either one of them winning. And unfortunately, we got to wait another 2 weeks before we see KC play again, and hopefully they lose that game too. But I mean, just looking at the games, I definitely want to see. I want to see the Chargers lose in Houston to the Texans. I'm all for that on Saturday. That Ravens Steelers game, man, that's going to be a good one, I'm sure. I still got to put my money on Baltimore for that game. Then Sunday, Broncos Bills in Buffalo. Buffalo all day long on that one.
Buffalo.
Yeah. What's your pick for the Chargers and Texans?
I think Texas could get them if Stroud has a decent game.
Yeah.
Texas do have a good defense. I don't think Herbert's going to have what he did today against the Texans. Because that one guy, that receiver with 184 yards, I didn't even heard this guy.
Yeah. All right, so you're saying Texans. I say the Texans too. I say Texans by default because I just can't stand the Chargers.
Oh,
I don't think any of us can. Yeah,
I want all of them to lose. Chiefs,
I think no matter who the
Broncos.
Texans were playing, I'd want to see them win. All right, so then we got the Steelers at Baltimore. What's your pick on that one? I went Baltimore.
Steelers at Baltimore?
Yeah, it's an 8 o'clock game on Saturday.
Hey,
on Prime.
That's a divisional game too. On top of that,
that's gonna be a good game.
So, Baltimore was playing hot the last 3 games. So let's see if they still keep that momentum going.
Yeah, well, they're playing in Baltimore too, so I mean that obviously gives them a leg up.
But Steelers look horrific against who they played.
Yeah,
they look terrible.
All right, so now on Sunday, the first game on Sunday is the Broncos at Bills. I'm going Bills on that one.
Bills.
Yeah, I don't think that's a contest. I know Denver's defense is good, but I don't think they can keep up with Buffalo's offense.
No.
Then the next game is the 4:30 game on Sunday, Packers at Eagles. That's going to be a tough one to choose, I think.
Packers and Eagles? Yeah, that's a tough
one. What do you think?
Toss-up. I don't. They both are all right, but it's a toss-up. He didn't go either way. They go either way.
I know Jordan Love got hurt today. I don't know how serious it is. I think if he's fine, I would probably go with Green Bay on this one, to be honest with you.
But they do have a decent backup, so but still, it's still a toss-up because Jalen Hurts is not the quarterback I thought he would be He's all right. He does enough.
No, he was off a little bit this year for sure,
But he's not that
and
enough.
I know that firsthand because I had him in my fantasy league, and it wasn't good. um, and then and then the night game. What's up, Asylum?
What's up?
The night game
Hey, Chris, how you
is
doing?
Hey, so
the Commanders at Buccaneers at 7:30. I
I think the Buccaneers might get him.
yeah,
I
and
think, but
like I said, I think Tampa Bay is like a dark horse.
uh,
Um, I kind of got to go with Tampa Bay on this one. Tampa Bay scares me in a way when they get in the playoffs. They can be formidable. Baker Mayfield's a wiry little bastard.
yeah, he is.
You know,
Yeah,
I got to go Tampa Bay on this one, mainly because of Baker Mayfield and it's a home game. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah. Baker Mayfield don't quit. So that's one thing about him. I saw. Kind of wish the Raiders would have signed him, but he don't quit. He just plays.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, you saw when we played against him. I mean, we couldn't get a hand. Max Troy, he was driving Max crazy. Max was like within just fingertips of touching him, and you just couldn't get a hold of him. I'm sure that was driving him nuts that game, trying to get a hold of that bastard. So Monday night, we got the Monday night game, Vikings at the Rams. That's another good one. But if the Vikings play like they did today, the Rams are going to blow them away because the Rams' offense is too good and the defense is a hell of a lot better than anybody thinks it is.
I don't think it was the Vikings play today. I think it was the Detroit defense play today because they just kept.
Minnesota looked horrible today. They looked way off today.
There's this one guy that was playing cornerback for Minnesota. His name was Meek Robinson. I think sounds familiar. He was balling today. He did pretty good. He kept Jefferson under wraps.
What's up, Savage? Is that your Savage Asylum?
Yeah, that's Raider Savage. That's the right Savage. What's up, Sav?
Hey, if you're not busy, Savage, jump in. There's the link. I mean, right now, if I had to choose between the two, I got to go with the Rams on this one. I really do. Minnesota better get right fast after today's game. You know?
Yeah, I didn't see that game, so
I was on a podcast with one of my Wednesday night partners, Jay, and I mean, I was watching it here and there, but I was spending most of my time kept refreshing ESPN.com and CBS Sportsline to see if AP got fired or not, because that's where you're going to probably find out first, unless someone breaks it somewhere else. Or NFL Network with Pelissaro.
Or Bleacher Report. That's what I was refreshing all day long just to see, or after the game, see what was going on there to see.
Yep.
I'm afraid for tomorrow on that one.
So if they fire him, who are they going to get? Because it looks like what the Patriots did with Mayo, they're going to be Vrabel. So
they're going to get Vrabel. I mean, even Savage was saying before. I guess Vrabel said something like it's patch or bust. So I mean, with the opening right there, I think it's hands down. We all know where Vrabel's going.
Yeah. So who else on the list? Ben Johnson. Everybody keep crying. Ben Johnson. He's not going nowhere. He's on a Super Bowl contending team. Why would he leave to a team that's nothing? You know, I don't see it. I don't see another coaches. Mouse keep AP, build his team, make some draft picks. If he goes 5-12 next year, okay, fire. Give him a chance.
Well, I mean, you have to give him a chance based off of how the season went with injuries and other things. Not to mention when he came in this year, you expected him to make rookie head coaching mistakes, and that's what he did. He had some time management, but he learned how to fix that. He had, timeouts or challenges, and, he still got to figure out, he had to learn what he didn't know. Now he knows what he didn't know, and now he knows how to fix it, and let's give him a chance to fucking fix it. Otherwise, you're just going to do exactly what the Pats did, and you're just going to have a guy in there for a year. And, again, I've got this argument on Captain Jack's show just on here. People are wanting him fired and everything. I'm like, aren't you tired of the coaching carousel? For 25 plus years, it's just been a year, 2 years. I mean, we've had a couple of coaches, Rudins and shit like that. That's gone, that's gone longer. But
LV rated 10.
but what ends up happening? Shit happens, goes, and then we do this carousel every 2 years. Then you change schemes. Then you change this. I mean, we talked about it last time I was on the show. He hasn't even had his full team on the field yet because he was still playing with half of McDaniel's team.
Exactly.
Not all the
That's what I said earlier. All these,
not all the players on the
picks.
team right now are the people he wants that he envisions to play with going. Let's give the man a chance and see what he could do going into this next year. And the biggest thing, I'm not going to go players. We'll go on the coach's side. The biggest thing is I want to see who comes in as OC because that was the biggest problem. It wasn't AP. It was the offensive coordinator.
Right. Totally.
So, let's see who we get there. Let's get somebody, comparable there. We don't know what's going to happen with Patrick Graham, so we might have to bring in a DC as well. And, let's see who he brings in.
They probably bump Leonard up. They can't find this only one decent coordinator they probably would get Brian Flores, but he's not going to be a DC. He will be a head coach. They probably bump up Leonard to DC. Probably, I don't know. If AP stays, that's what they'll do. I think.
Well, I think if AP stays, you might actually get Patrick Graham for another year. I think he didn't take a contract extension. I think he didn't take a contract extension this year that was offered him because he did not know what was going to happen with AP. I think unless it's a head coaching job that he can get, I think he might stick around for another year if AP sticks around.
Yeah. One of the things I said the other day too is we're going to be in a sticky situation here with what happens with AP because if we retain AP and Patrick Graham doesn't want to stay here, and I'm talking just OCDC here, and Turner goes to where everybody's already saying that he possibly might go to by going to North Carolina with Belichick. So now that means we need to hire an OC and a DC, and here's the problem with this. AP is your coach. Everybody thinks he's under a 2-year contract because that's just what the rumor is. We never really found out what his true contract is, right? So, which means he's only got 1 more year left on that contract. So you're going to have a hard time bringing in a heavy hitter on offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, knowing that they've technically only got 1 year to prove themselves with a coach that might only be here for 1 year. Because anybody new they're bringing in, they're not going to sign him to a longer contract than what the head coach is under.
And that's the good point right there. Who wants to come here?
Exactly. So the big problem is that means we're going to either have to promote from within, which on the defensive side could be easier because we could just move Leonard up to the DC. The one that's been the right-hand man for Graham, in his tenure here. But on the OC side, you're going to have to bring in someone from the outside more than likely, unless you promote from within again. And by promoting from within, it could be somebody like a Philbin to offensive coordinator. I don't know where we go at that point. If you've got aspirations of getting like a Cliff Kingsbury type of guy to come in as the offensive coordinator, I think you're going to be hard pressed to get that type of caliber coach to come in. Knowing
I don't know. OC, you might be able to bring in somebody like the enemy.
Getting one more shot.
You might be able to bring in somebody like the enemy.
I said bring Ben a long time ago. I think earlier this year I said, well, bring Ben in, get rid of Jesse Benjamin, because he actually helped build that Kansas City offense.
Yeah. Not only did he do that,
he just got a little mouthy with the NFL's poster board, and so we can have it. You're gone. That's all that was.
Well, and his stint in college with everything going, he might want to get that foot back into the NFL just to show that he could do it again, somewhere else and go and be willing to take that chance, because there's also the chance to get rid of AP after that 1 year contract. Does not make the enemy a candidate for the head coaching job?
It could.
If they do well, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in talks before, before he left Kansas City for a head coaching job, and things kind of went, the way they went. But, And that could be a way you could bring him in too. Hey, you come in here for this 1 year. If AP did not work out, then you could be in consideration to come in and interview and already have foot in the door for the head coaching position. In that offensive coordinator position. And go. So that could be that silver lining in the position to help bring in somebody who could be possibly that bigger name.
Yeah. It's still a tough spot, what we actually do. So I mean, again, I think really won't know much until they decide on what they're doing with AP. We could find out within the next 24 hours. I just hope, like I said earlier, I just hope they don't milk this and wait too long.
Me too.
Already the part that's going to prolong all this is the fact that any coaches that we're looking at bringing in, if we do get rid of AP, they're all in the playoffs more than likely. So as long as those teams are still playing in the playoffs, those coaches are off. They're off. They're off.
They're off limits until I believe the championship
game.
Off
limits. Thank you. My God, I can't even think the normal word.
I think they're off limits until the championship game, and then the week of the championship game, they can interview,
unless
but
the team gives that,
after that.
Unless the team gives them
after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So now you're pushing us back into February now. So and the other thing is, if we do let go of AP, I don't want us making a hasty, quick decision to just hire any old coach just because we need a coach. If you want to look at guys that are still coaching in the playoffs, then you're going to need to be patient. And the fan base is going to need to be patient also. Because if you jump the gun,
lately, I don't think they know patience.
No, they don't.
None.
They don't.
They're like they want to fire AP right now and get
yeah.
Before
they
rolls
off. Fire AP right now, and they want us to win the Super Bowl this season right now in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's the way some of these fans think, unfortunately.
Think about it. A lot of these coaches don't want to go to a team where they have nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to put their resume on a line and say, well, I'm going to coach a bad team. And then that work out. The other team will look at that coach again. Like, when you went to the Raiders and you went 1-17. Why should we hire you?
Yeah.
You don't want to. They don't want to do that. So,
the benefit, the one thing we do have as a bright spot is we've got a very early draft pick in the first round. So that is enticing, I'm sure. Is there really, the only players that would be worth anything as far as an enticing move to bring in a coach is guys like Max. If we still have him, if we don't trade him away. Brock Bowers, the ability, the future of what you can do with this kid and turn him into is just endless at this point.
Yeah.
The O-line, you've got 2 future mainstays on that offensive line. One being a center, one being a right tackle. Left tackle, he's good right now. He's okay, but you need to think about bringing in a replacement for the future for him. Seriously, you're going to have to do that, whether it's in free agent this year or in the draft this year. You're going to have to address that now. You can't wait until you think that he's on the end of his career and think about replacing him. You got to get somebody in there now. And if they beat him, they beat him.
I think you got to put both Mayers and Myers on there too. Jacoby and Michael. They're
Jacoby, yes. Yes.
You got
somebody said something earlier about possibly trading away Michael Mayer. I'm like, no.
Why?
I don't agree with that.
2 solid tight ends. When you got Bowers, they were trying to show it this game. I'm sorry, this game, that tackle that Khalil Mack did on O'Connell is where the game started to spiral. They said it was an interception. I don't think it was that. It was when he couldn't get up and couldn't be mobile like he was trying to do. And I know he's not mobile, but moving around like he wanted to do and limited him. That's where we started to lose the game. Until then, we were right into that game. Yes, we were 2 scores down, but I did not feel we were out of it until after you saw O'Connell struggling to get up, struggling to move. And then even when you saw him trying to throw, he couldn't really even move up in the pocket like he wanted to do. You saw him try, and then he was, having to force throws and do everything else and go. And I really think AOC is a positive in the fucking, on this because you have a solid quarterback right there.
Yep. I mean, a lot of, I know some people are complaining today about, oh, look at this game and, he's not the answer. Like, first of all, there was zero running game in this game today. I mean, Madison had what, 20 yards? I mean, you had absolutely no running game. Even if Abdullah would have played, that would have helped a little bit more because he's got more value because of what he can do as a receiver coming out of the backfield.
Well, he's also a power runner. He's also a power runner where Madison is more, trying to get to the outside and everything, and we didn't have the offensive line to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where Abdullah was shined like last week was because it was more of a power running scheme, and we had the offensive line, at least, lately was more of a power, blocking offensive line, and that was what was helping. And Madison just proved he can't do it, not as a power runner.
No. It just so I mean, yeah, that really didn't help. I mean, he still put well over 200 and something yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he threw an interception. Offensive line, aside from Glaze and JPJ, and Miller. I mean, who the 2 weaknesses are on the O line today. It's again Andre James and Parham. 2 guys that I can't wait till we let them go. See you later. Bye. So
I hope we let James go. I hope we really do, but I just don't know. He signed that 3-year contract, whatever it was.
Well, we could trade him away too. Also, don't forget.
We could, but will we?
Somebody needs an offensive lineman and a center that bad. He could be serviceable for somebody else, just not us. Now, when you got JPJ sitting there, he needs to get his ass back over to center. And we were forced to make this move because of injuries on the O-line. It's what they felt was the best fit. Yeah. So, I mean, how much am I blaming AOC 12 for this today? I'm really not. It was just,
it was a repeat of back when we had Carr. It was just O'Connell trying to do too much, trying to, put the game on his shoulders, the team on his shoulders, and win the game from the get-go. And that's what you saw.
Yeah.
O'Connell played hard.
Raider Paul.
Just salute.
Yeah, I mean, he's not out there making dumb decisions every time, like some of the quarterbacks we've had in the past. And naming Carr too, because Carr made some dumbass moves in the past. I mean, I'm not saying he was perfect. Minshew, sometimes I don't know what he was thinking when he was out there. I really don't. It's this
Minshew would have been okay if he stopped running in fucking circles and ran straight forward north and south when he was taking off running and trying to, escape pressures. I saw him running he'd get up to that damn line of scrimmage, run sideways, run in a circle, and lead to half those sacks, lead to the stupid mistakes he would make instead of just running forward, which that was the Minshew we've seen on other teams, would be him taking off and gaining those positive yards instead of trying to do too much and make a big play with his arm. He was trying to showcase his arm and not his legs, and he was really brought in for his legs, not his arm.
Yeah, he'll take one read. As soon as one person get there, he just start running around. Sometimes he ran into sacks. He ran to the guy. He like run straight, throw the ball away. Or he'll throw a pick, or he run to a sack.
Yep.
So, and plus the offensive scheme was not good. Offensive scheme was not good anyway. It was terrible. It was not tailored for him.
I didn't really get to watch a lot of the game today because with today being our last game of the season at the club, for the Booster Club at the bar today, we threw this really quick together. We threw together doing a potluck thing today for food because the kitchen there has been closed. Last week when we got there, we didn't know it was closed, so I gave the treasurer the okay to order a bunch of pizzas for the members that were there. This week, we knew the kitchen was already closed ahead of time, so we were able to prepare a little bit for it. So we did like a potluck thing, and we had a shit ton of people there. I mean, the turnout was pretty damn good today, which was great. I'm so happy for that. So I mean, I was busy with walking around talking to the other club members, and having like a quick little get together with the executive board, talking about things that we want to start talking about and setting a meeting. And I didn't really get to sit and watch a lot of the game, so I really can't comment too much on how the game went. I may have to rewatch it tomorrow, but I may not, because it's over at this point. The season's done. But I'm just glad
I got to see the whole game because I didn't get to do my club shit because I got snowed in. We got hit by a storm today. Oh yeah, we got like fucking 13, 14 inches of snow today. And they closed down. I mean, we got highways closed. I mean, they put it out. My job shut down on Friday, said don't even come in tomorrow. So
well, you're in KC. Where did Kansas City play today? Did they play at home?
No. I think they were in Denver, weren't they?
I don't know. That's why I was asking. I didn't know if you.
I don't know. I don't follow what case is.
The highlights I saw from that game, I didn't see any snow, and so I'm like, all right, so they must have played in Denver then, if that's the case.
Yeah, they must have. I mean, I think they were in Denver. I'm not 100% though. I don't follow them.
Yeah, so I had a busier than normal day at the bar with the club and everything. So I mean, which is usually what ends up happening a lot of times. I don't get a chance to really sit and kind of watch the game. I end up having to watch it on Monday. But I mean, if this was a win, I probably would have watched the whole thing and been a little bit more excited. I know I kind of look like a right now, but it's been a long day. But I'm so wired right now. Lost Chris.
No, see, for me, I don't know. I do a podcast now, so I got to watch
Call of Duty. His kid plays Call of Duty, and he bumps him off the internet. Happens every now and then on Friday nights when we're on together on the other shows.
Yeah, I know about that. I live out in the boonies and everything, so internet is sparse out here sometimes. And I'm actually surprised the snow didn't knock out the game. I'd have been pissed if it did that, but I had to pay that $4.99 just to watch the game, so I get it on. What is that?
I saw them advertising that today. I'm like, really? $4.99? Yeah. God damn it, for one day.
For one day, but it was worth it though. For one day, I'll do $4.99 one game.
Yeah, I'm sure. Here I am. I'm a schmuck, and I paid for the full season at the start. And, it cost me like $3 and change for the damn thing for the whole year. I saw that today. I'm like $4.99. I'm like, God damn.
No, that's part of the reason why I started a club, and we go places to watch the game. We find places that are going to have the game.
Yeah.
We found a nice place that bought the Sunday ticket just so we can come there and watch the game. So that's usually what we did.
What you keep playing Call of Duty on you again?
I don't know. They're playing some Marvel game. I don't know what they're playing now. Both my daughter and my son. It's like, I'm going to go there and plug both their PlayStations. Keep the plugs in my pocket when I go online. You guys, I'm out here online and you're playing these games. I have I got 2K internet, but still, I'm far from the house. But still, when they play a game, it just drops the signal down. Like, you know what?
You got one of those signal boosters?
I got to get that thing. That's why I didn't start anything yet.
Definitely get that at least. Try that first.
That reminds me of the days of the dial-up. Somebody just picked up the phone while you're online and everything and just kicks you off.
Oh, dial-up.
That's so bad.
Hey, how's my voice sound?
My voice sound well.
Do my voice sound clear, or I just got a new mic?
You sound fine to me.
I'm getting ready to get set up.
Your signals come in and out sometimes, and I think that's just because someone else is on your internet right now. Try one of those signal boosters. That'll probably help you a little bit too, especially if you're that far away from the router and everything.
Probably.
See, I put my office right. I put my setup right where the damn router is, so I got as much of a signal as I can get.
Right here on the wall. The whole box. Like if I want, I'm still wireless, but the router's upstairs. But the main box unit is right here. So all I got to do is just connect the wire to it, throw it right into my laptop if I wanted to. I just haven't. I've just been that lazy that I don't want to stretch a foot to my right and plug it in and run it underneath. And I just
Well, I
don't.
could go
You don't, you don't have to do that. Just set it up once, straight to your computer. You do it once and leave it.
Well,
I
I
could go
keep
piss everybody off. Router, bring it out here. Then I'll piss everybody off. Like, where's the router at? In here.
Yeah, there you
Can't
go.
connect. Now you know how.
That's what I would do.
Well, you know, I don't want to do it because I keep moving my desk around. Like I had my buddy come over to help me mount the arm for my big monitor. So now I've got that on a swing thing. See, like, yeah, I'm moving the This is my big ass monitor. I'm moving that around right now because right now I've got the laptop sitting right here because I'm using the camera on that. But one of the guys in a club, the former president, gave me this today. It's a regular 4K camera because I was going to get a webcam. Yeah, so
that's that good. I got one coming over this month away.
I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to play around with it and set it up tomorrow, see where I can put it, and get the, instead, because that way I can keep the laptop closed and I can keep the monitor sitting over here instead of having to keep sliding things around. But this is still easier than what I used to have to do because I had the laptop sitting over to my right underneath the TV. But whenever I went on live, I used to have to pick it up and slide it over, put it underneath the monitor, then open it up, and it took up less space in front. Oh, it was a nightmare. I was like, screw this. I just,
you should have seen how long it took me to get a green screen. It took me forever to get. I did this. I only got a green screen like recently, so.
I think I got that right here too. Actually, where is it? Maybe not. I thought that was on this. I think that maybe.
You can virtual background without a green screen, but you get a lot of that choppiness and all kinds of other things. The green screen is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fades in and out. When you like move back and forth, it'll fade in and out. I've seen those.
Yeah.
Or
this kid here, LV rated 10, right? That's my buddy that I do. It's my partner on the Raider Connection and the Raiders Coast to Coast. He just walked into this unbelievable deal where he just got like I don't know how many monitors and keyboards and all kinds of shit. And I was over here, I was like, I need another router. Like you should have asked for a router when you got all that other shit. Dude, I sent you the link if you want to come in if you're not doing anything.
So tomorrow's Black Monday, huh?
7. There it is. He just posted
tomorrow's Black Monday. Or they're
you got 7 monitors. 7 for nothing.
7.
Yeah. Here I am. I bought a brand new one last year for $120.
Yes, that's why
I might as well just connect this shit to my 85-inch screen TV and be done with it.
Well, like I've said before, my little studio, it's like let me turn it this way. All right, can you see that right there in the corner? Down on the, right here, this?
Washing machine or dryer or whatever?
Yeah, it's the dryer. The washing machine's right next to it.
Machine.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'll give you a little tour. So, I basically just took over a good chunk of the laundry room.
Oh, if I was back in California, I'd be doing this in my damn garage.
Yeah.
I mean, I only had a 950 square foot house, so.
Well, this, to my right, this whole shelf unit was already here. So I had my buddy come over and we built a shelf, desk. This bench that I'm sitting at, it's like 8 or 10 feet long. But I built it with the intent that I was going to be doing my, the plastic models, like the military models, because that's what I initially started my YouTube channel, was doing that. But we built this whole bench area here and everything and put shelves up above, so we got it all set up nice. I got a window right behind the laptop, so when the weather's warm, I can open that up and I get a nice breeze in that way. During the winter, I can't because I freeze my ass off because it leads to the breezeway between the garage and the house. So I pretty much took over, I don't know, about almost half the laundry room and turned it into my little office space. So I like it. And just sit here. I got the door right behind me. I can just reach it right here and just push it shut. The wife's watching TV. So now what do you guys how was your feeling on the whole season? What's your take on how it went and how we ended? Chris, let's start with you.
I was excited from last year going into this season. So basically, most of the same players lost Jacobs and Amik Robinson, a couple other players. I was like, okay, well, we still got a core. I was happy.
Yeah.
Then when AP came and said Minshew's going to start because a better chance of winning, I like, really? After AOC got you that job, helped you get that job for what he did, I'm like, this is not going to work. And then first game, nope. Second game, what they play? Baltimore second game or third?
Yeah, we beat Baltimore the second game.
Well, that was a fluke. Baltimore should have won that game. They messed up. We didn't win. They messed up. And then it's like, I knew the season gonna be had. Then the Getsy and all that stuff. I like, oh god. All right, keep the team intact. Get some more people next year. That's all I'm looking at. Because I knew when we lost, going like a 4-game losing streak. I said that's the season over. Then no way we can come back from that. That's the way the Chargers and Denver and Kansas City were playing. Like, man, we got not coming back from that. So holds it down. But next year,
it's kind of how I felt too. I felt good with the start, based on how we ended last year. What do you think, Asylum? What's up, Nate?
Oh, I mean, I had high hopes,
Good, you guys.
when the season started and when things were going, especially when we were sitting at 2-2, all that shit going, I mean, there was a high hopes, but it was, I mean, when the injury bug started hitting, you're losing Kuntz right away. Then, you have, I forget which game we damn lost Wilkins in, but, when things started going and you saw the offense was being a lot like it was under McDaniels with Getsy, struggling to score 20 points, all that other shit, you're kind of like, let's not do this again. I was one of those few that was, just give Getsy a chance, we were seeing some positives in there. We just need to see it, go together. But it started, yeah. I mean, once we started that, I don't know about, the 4-game losing streak, but once we started getting 5, 6, 7 games in there, you knew the season was over. And it was just like, let's see what we got. I was calling for O'Connell for shit a lot earlier than a lot of people, before they even did it, just to go. And again, what would the season have been like if we would have started O'Connell instead of Minshew? It could have been, completely different. We don't know, hindsight, all that. So, I mean, in all, yeah, the season was a disappointment. But again, I just feel, with this whole thing, you fire AP, you're just starting the whole thing over again like we've done every other damn year, and starting fresh, starting new. We need to get some kind of continuity going, consistency. Even if he might end up being the wrong guy, you still need consistency, because what we were talking about earlier about trying to bring in a big name coach, you're not going to do it. Keep firing coaches, because all they're going to say is, I got a year or two to get it done anyways. It don't matter how long my contract is. It seems not going to give me a chance. If I just go on a skid, then I got to worry about my job. So, and Vrabel, on that comment, we all know he's going to New England.
He's going to Patriots. Yeah, he's going to Patriots.
Yeah, with them firing Mayo today, right after the game.
That's Cohen. I mean, Jared Mayo got fired, like, literally. I think
as soon as he got fired, we knew we were going.
Last second ticked off that clock. He was shit canned.
As soon as they got fired, we knew Vrabel's gone.
Yeah, Vrabel is. They'll do their due diligence and do the Rooney Rule thing, but already that Kraft's going to be bringing that. That's why he did it. I'm telling you right now. That's the only reason he did it, is because Vrabel is going to be sought after by a lot of teams, including us at one point. But now that's probably not going to happen. I think, which is why it's going to probably solidify the fact that AP is going to stay now, because what are the other options? There is before we go any further, Nate, what was your feeling on, how the season went and, how you thought it was going to start? Like, what's your overall opinion?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously extremely disappointing, and from the beginning, it kind of had like a different feel from it. Even after winning against the Ravens, it still felt kind of like, okay, I don't think we're all there yet. But to me, in the beginning, I thought it was just like, all right, it's the beginning of the year, it's a new quarterback, a new system, we'll figure it out. But then that clicking just never happened. Like, it never got together. I don't know what it was. And I was honestly never a big fan of Luke Getsy coming into the season because I seen what he did the year prior in Chicago, and I didn't think he handled the Justin Fields situation over there in Chicago very well. So I was kind of iffy, but I was willing to give him chances. And the more I was continuing, all right, let's see what he still got. He was continuing to prove me right, and so that's kind of how it kind of felt. But down the line, I just felt like we got really unlucky, especially with an injury bug. Obviously, you can't really blame it on injuries in totality, but like I think this was just kind of a washed year. Like you lose your you use your offensive coordinator, who obviously wasn't doing very well either, but you also lose your quarterbacks. You don't have a final like starter, like a real starter in at quarterback. So it's kind of hard to really evaluate how the season went when there's a lot of stuff that happened that you can't really like say should have happened or should have gone well. So I don't know. I think this is kind of a wash season for the Raiders.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Do I sound okay?
I was gonna say, do I sound quiet? I'm kind of far from the mic.
No, it's just I didn't look at the time until just now. I don't. Everybody's sleeping in the house, so I figured I'd put the headphones on rather than. How does it sound versus my boom?
It's not as good as the way you were before, but understandable.
Yeah, I figured that's why I don't like using this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a fucking air traffic controller now.
Yeah,
flight 5.3.
You sound like I'm playing God.
But
what was I saying here? So let me just look at the chat. What we got going on here? I kind of agree with this one, but I think it was even worse than that. As bad as that year was.
I got to say something about this. Fire AP on his first year head coach. I mean, he's an inexperienced head coach for one thing. Give him a chance to learn. Look what happened. Look at Detroit is doing right now with their coach. They win what 3-13 their first year. His first year.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him. It's Super Bowl contender. Yeah, Campbell. He got his players he wanted. He let the owner dictate things. And I want these guys. Traded up, got some players. Traded what? Golf for what's his name?
He traded Stafford for Golf.
Yeah, Stafford for Golf. He got the players he wanted. And look at them. They look like a Super Bowl contending team.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, they held Minnesota in that high flying offense to 9 points, all field goals. They didn't score a touchdown tonight.
No.
They
was at the goal line twice and they stopped them.
Yeah. I mean I just don't see anybody beating Detroit right now. The only one that kind of scares me, and maybe if they match up against Tampa Bay, that's the only one. The Eagles don't scare me at all. I don't even think the Eagles make it past next week. I really don't.
I think that they might get them.
Yeah.
I mean, it could also come down to a rematch of tonight's game. You could see Minnesota and Detroit going at it again in the NFC Championship. Ultimately, I would love to see Detroit and Buffalo in the Super Bowl because we're guaranteed a winner that's never won before, one team that's never been there before in Detroit.
Yeah.
And the best part, it's not Kansas City.
Yeah.
So, that itself
definitely on that. Definitely on that. But yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that one. Bills and Detroit. I mean, that will make for a hell of a fucking Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
God, yeah. I mean, you're talking about two good defenses, two phenomenal offenses. It could come down to a special teams game too, to be honest with you, based on how the two teams match up on either side of the ball. This could be a game that's going to be a shootout, and whoever's got the ball last wins it type of game, just based on how they've played all season long. I don't think Kansas City's offense is going to be able to keep up with some of these defenses.
I was about to say that. Kansas City offense has not been that good.
Kansas City offense hasn't been playing well at all.
It's a defense.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes hasn't played well all season. They got lucky with a handful of games that they should have lost.
Yep.
2 of them to us.
Twice to us.
Yep.
Could have won those 2 games.
Yep. And
You know,
I know I asked you guys about what you thought about the season and everything. My biggest pissed off moment of this season is at the end of today's game, because losing today's game, I mean, we went 0-6 in our division. If you can't even go 500 in your division, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. You don't deserve to win shit. You know, people are like, oh, how do you think we're going to do next year? I don't care what we do next year. I care about what we do in our division next year.
Yeah.
Because your success starts with how you do in your own division against teams that, if you can't beat your own or excel in your own division, the rest of the league doesn't mean shit. Because if you can't even dig out of your own cellar in the four teams in your division, you're screwed. I'm sorry. People can disagree
well, the
with me
best
on
track
this
to the
statement.
playoffs is by winning your division.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, so even if we pull it off next year where we go 3-3 in our division, I'll be fine with that, because that means, first of all, none of those three teams have a winning streak over us. We're showing improvement because this year we didn't win a single goddamn game in the division. Next year we pull off 3. I'm fine with that. I mean, look at the year we went 6-0 and we still didn't make the playoffs, though.
Yeah. I
Right?
remember that.
I mean, there's another example. Yeah, we did great in our division, but
because of-
now we've gotten to that point, but now we got to do more beyond that now. But first, our division is going to be sewn up for a long time with those three teams. You got 3 excellent head coaches. You got three excellent quarterback. Yeah, one of them's a rookie. You've got 3 phenomenal defenses. You know, and then where are we? We're stuck in the muck at the bottom right now because we've got an offense that just can't get out of its own way sometimes, mainly because we don't have a running game. We got a defense that was just riddled with injuries this year. So
But
that
well,
alone proves that we had no depth. We had
and we
nothing.
still, and we still finished.
Well, I
ranked
mean,
10th.
we got some depth, and I
Yeah.
think we saw some good
Yeah, we
out of
still-
our depth throughout the season. We saw some
Yeah, we
people
did.
step up, you know, and play well. We had people like Jacorian Bennett in his second year that people, you know, turned around and said was a bust, but played very well up until his injury. We talked about it before. You know, we have, Palomino came out and played well. You know, we had some depth pieces. I mean, we picked up Chase on off of free agency during the season. That was a good pickup. You know, you had Jenkins, you had Butler, who
That was the
I
best
know,
pickup right there, Chase on. I mean,
you
Yeah.
know, they're longer in the tooth,
Yeah.
but they played well. You know, they stepped up and did good.
so
You know, you have Spillane, you know, which I think we need to re-sign. And then that's the other part of it. We need to get him some help at linebacker,
Yeah.
you know, to be able to help with the middle of that field and go. Morig's finally stepped up in year 4.
yeah.
You know, so I mean, I think we saw some good out of the depth. But yes, I agree. We need more depth. We need people that could go, and we need to keep other people. I hope Marcus Epps is one that we could get on the cheap and bring in and keep as a leader. Because I really think he had that the secondary playing well when he was on the field. He's putting them all in the right places.
I said that the other day. Somebody thought that Jay hey, in our show the other day,
Mhm.
was it Jay said, or was it you? 10 wins. I said, what are you, crazy? I don't think we're gonna get 10 wins.
I said 10
I
wins.
would be hard.
I said 10 wins this year. I thought we would get 10 wins this year.
No, no,
I
no.
don't know about next year, but I don't
No,
know.
for next season.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah,
who it was said that.
I forget, but somebody did say it the other night. I'm more in the 5 to 6 range if we're lucky. If we're lucky. I think 10's going a little. That's a little crazy.
10 is a lot considering how this season went and
Yeah, I don't
how
see us
many
getting
people we need to
far.
re-sign and how much more talent we need to acquire. That 10 wins is a lot.
If you don't get an O-line help and sign an OC, we're not good because the defense did their part. They kept teams down. They kept teams, but their problem was the offense get a ball so quick they right back on the field again.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of
after a while
times,
you get tired.
in games.
You get tired, and like, wait, we just got 3 and out. Go score. No, you got 3 and out. Right, we're back on the field, back and forth. So we don't have we need an offensive coordinator. If you don't sign somebody, well, Turner says he's going to North Carolina, right? North Carolina.
Supposedly, I mean, those are the
Supposedly,
rumors
yeah.
that people are kicking
We
around.
need
How
we
true it is,
need
I don't know.
we need to get rid of 2 people on our O line, and Jeff knows who those 2 guys are. And
Yeah.
we need we need 2 running backs. 2 running backs. So we got a third down back. We keep what's Abdullah. I like him.
I'm
Keep him as
fine
a
with
third
that.
down back.
I like Abdullah.
Keep him
Yeah,
as a third down back. Don't put him at every down. He's not every down back. He's old for one thing, but he never was an every down back. We need 2 running backs, a speedster and a thumper, and then fix the whole line, and then we probably can win more games.
I mean,
Yeah.
the good thing is there's some good free agents out there, which is always that's first before the draft. So as far as addressing the running back, I'm still 100%. I'm bringing Najee Harris in here as our number 1,
I like
and
that.
let him
No,
groom
no Chuck.
a rookie, and we keep McCormick too. So you would
Oh,
have
Chuck.
your running back room, a rookie running back, which I hope would be Scatterbo, uh, Najee Harris, McCormick, and Abdullah. So now you got 2 veteran running backs. One that would be a third down specialist, and that would be Abdullah, just because of his ability out of the backfield. Najee Harris would be an every down starter. And then you would have the rookie, and then you would have McCormick. So that's a heck of a rotation with those 4. I would absolutely be fine with that. And I think Najee would come a little bit on the cheap side, too. He's not going to break the bank on us.
You know what?
I think that's what's really gonna happen. If it really depends on how much Najee wants. That
Exactly.
I think I like the thought of Najee Harris, but I think that also in the draft the running backs are extremely deep this draft. You can get possibly 2 starters in the later rounds of this draft.
Well, and the other thing too with Harris, you don't have to sign him to a long term. You get him for 2 years, and if we trade him away after 1 year, we trade him away or we let him go. Just don't sign him to a heavy laden contract on the back end. That's all. Sign him to a fair deal. Because I don't think Pittsburgh's going to put a ton of money out for him because they got Jalen Warren. So
after what Barkley did, I don't know the running back money might go after what Barkley did. They're gonna say, "Oh, running backs are very needed now," so they might raise. Barkley just raised the price.
It might, but you got to look at what Barkley did before he went to the Eagles.
Yeah,
he was just ridiculous to begin with. Najee hasn't been Najee didn't have a year like he has in the past because they didn't have to rely on him as much this year because Russell Wilson stepped up and played better than anybody thought. I didn't think he was going to play like that this year. Yeah. I thought he was going to be washed up, so which is why I'm saying you might be able to get Najee on a little bit of.
Well, Najee Harris is not a $12 million a year running back.
No,
you're not going to get him for.
He's only getting about $3 million right now.
Yeah,
that's
so you might be able to get him for
4,
6 to 8 million.
Yep. Yeah, for whatever reason, Raiders don't make it. They don't win. I'm just tired of excuses. The season started versus the Chargers with a lot. Yeah, I mean, division games are always tough. We know that. Did I think we were going to lose that first game? No. Based on how the season ended? No. But Harbaugh just brings a different mentality to a team. He proved it in the NFL before. He definitely proved it in college. So I mean, the guy's a winner, plain and simple. He's a good head coach. I will never take that away from him.
Well, unless it's in the Super Bowl, that is.
Yeah, then it shows. Well, that was his brother.
He has a talent for turning teams around. He did it everywhere he goes, but that's the thing. He turns them around, and then they start going downhill from there. You only get a good couple of years, and I think that's because he rubbed things the wrong way.
He did not turn the 49ers around. He turned them out a little bit. They were winning still when he came there coach.
Yeah.
The Chargers were winning when he came there. They just couldn't finish it off. They had too many losing records with Staley. They just couldn't get finished in the season. So he didn't come into like the 3-13 team. He came into like an 8-9 or 10-16.
Yep.
On both occasions.
No,
they didn't really turn him around.
The Chargers had 5 wins last year. Chargers had 5 wins last year.
Yeah, but before that they had more than that. So he didn't come to lose the cause. They already had everything in place. So, you understand what I'm saying? They already had the
Yeah, but he
quarterback.
also let go a lot of guys too. They lost their 2 top wide receivers and their running back are both were let go, and he
They were
still
cold. They were old. They didn't do nothing now.
well, yeah,
I was
old
saying
and injury prone too.
he didn't come in. He didn't come in with blind. He didn't come in with no quarterback or anything like that. He already had the defense in place.
Mm-hmm.
So he did turn around and playing better, but he didn't turn around completely from a 3-13 to a 10-13 or a 3-13 to a 10-3 team, a 13-3 team. He didn't do that.
But he's changed that culture a little bit in
Yeah,
LA for sure. You know,
they're playing harder and
and
playing
up
more
nothing,
fluid with
he
him in
brought
there.
in a hell of a rookie wide receiver, McConkey. That kid was good. I was impressed by that kid this year. What else we got? As long as the O line and running game are corrected, the more wins will come. I agree with that. Everything starts with the running game, as far as I'm concerned.
No, everything starts in the trenches.
Yeah,
On both sides of the ball. It's the trenches.
Yep.
You gotta have the trenches right before you go outward. If you don't have your trenches right, that goes on defense because the defensive line helps the secondary. Offensive line helps everything, go from there. So to me, it starts in the trenches and then you work your way out.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I'm just taking a smoker. I don't like smoking on screen. So I can hear you
That's
guys.
cool. It's a direct result of the last 2 GMs and coaches that led us. Yeah, I mean, I've
Agreed.
said this before about McDummy when we hired him. That from the moment he said yes, I'll take the job, that set us back 5 years, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, who was the GM? Who was the GM?
Oh, that was Ziegler with him.
No, it wasn't. It was the McDaniels was the GM. He told Ziegler what to do. Who
Well,
to
yeah,
hire.
but, you know, I mean, he had the title, I guess.
Yeah, he had the title. He had the title. Name only.
That's what got Ziegler fired, though, is because he
Yeah.
let McDaniels, boss him around. I mean, Ziegler
should have had.
I wouldn't mind if we kept Ziegler. He had made some decent things going. I would like to see how it played out. But the fact that he let McDaniels run the show and couldn't even stand up to his head coach, that was Ziegler's problem, and that's why he ended up getting fired when McDaniels got fired.
Oh, the other thing that really pissed me off about when McDaniels came in is at the end of the season prior to him being hired, that was a playoff team. That team was ready.
Yeah.
That team was firing on all cylinders. But he came in, didn't want Carr, dumped Carr. Garoppolo was your answer for Carr. I don't get that one. He just dismantled that team. You took a team that was on the fast track to make the playoffs. All you needed was a couple other pieces of that puzzle, and we'd be talking about watching them in the playoffs probably this season too.
He didn't
things
want
would
to
have
touch
been
Jacobs.
different.
He didn't want to touch Jacobs because what? He played in the preseason after he won 1,600 yards the season before. Why is he playing Why are you playing the preseason? You know what he got. We got.
And that's the other thing I didn't like. He relied so much on Josh Jacobs that Josh Jacobs never should have ran the ball as much as he did that year that McDumdum was the coach. I mean, he beat the shit out of that guy. That was just ridiculous how much he leaned on him, which, I mean, I get it. He's the running back. He's your number one. He ended up leading the league and all that and everything that year. But Jesus Christ, I mean, come up with another game plan here. I hate that guy with a passion, McDaniels. I hated him when he was here in New England. And he was proven a loser when he went to Denver and did what he did there. They were awful. He lasted a season and a half there, and then we go and give him another shot. Like that whole first press conference with him and Ziegler and Mark, it just looked so fake and so phony.
It did
like
look
all
right.
prayed away, and then I'm like, this doesn't even look. Yeah, like you just said, it just doesn't look right. This guy does not look like he belongs wearing the black and silver. It's like, get this guy off the stage, get him out of the building now. I can't believe someone else gave him another shot at being a head coach, and of course it's us.
You notice that press conference, Mark Davis had to carry the press conference. You notice that. If you look at it again, Mark Davis carried the press conference.
The guy's got no personality, and not that Mark Davis has one either. But I mean, McDaniels, McDaniels, oh my God. That was probably one of the worst coaching decisions I think we've ever made, other than probably what's his face there. Oh my God,
Which one?
I
Dennis
can't.
Allen?
Well, yeah,
Dennis
okay,
Allen.
that one too.
That has to be one of the tops.
No, Shanahan, that little cheese-eating little rat.
Well, you could also add Lane Kiffin to that list.
Lane
I
Kiffin.
think Lane Kiffin was a lame duck. That's what that was. I think that was a hire out of necessity. I don't think that was like a, hey, let's go get this guy type of guy. Shanahan, I think that's what that was. That was a, hey, this is what he's done here. Let's bring him in. And that was a complete disaster. And it's only fitting that he went on to go to Denver and just beat the shit out of us for the time he was in Denver. You know?
Mark Davis hires coaches based on past history and names. Names seem like
Yeah.
he hires somebody. Shannon. Oh, his was it dad? Shannon. Oh, he was a good offensive coordinator, so I'm gonna hire him. Lane Kiffin coached at USC for a spell. Did okay. Let's get him. And then he coached Tennessee. They did okay. Let's get him. He hires on what they did, which is what you're supposed to do, but he's going by names. Oh, New England Patriots. McDummy. Let's get him. He was Denver. He sucked at Denver. So why did you bring him in here? You don't bring a losing coach in. You bring a winning coach in.
Too many excuses. What do you mean excuses, bro? What are you talking about?
No excuses.
We're
I'm
not
just
making
saying like it is.
excuses. We're saying, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't bullshit anything, man. I shoot from the hip. I don't give a shit.
I don't. Yeah,
Hey, come on, Mark.
I'm too blunt for most people. What are you talking about?
I'm not dreaming of having a coach like Harbaugh. That's not what I'm saying.
Come on in, Mark, and give your opinion. Come on, Mark.
Jesus
We
Christ.
never had a chance at Harbaugh, anyways.
No, he wasn't coming in.
I didn't think so either.
No, either the Chargers or the Bears. That's the two choices.
This right here, Raiders need to be sold to a billionaire like other teams have done and become good. Commanders and Broncos recently. Yeah, as long as that billionaire doesn't get involved in the team and just says, "Hey, you run it," I'll just write the checks. You do what you want.
Well, I mean, you look at those teams. Look at the head coaches they brought in. Shit like that. I mean, that's where the changes come. The head coaches, the GM, the office people. It's not the ownership. And you're saying you want to talk about ownership that's too involved. Just look at the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, Carr's gone from the Saints. I don't see him coming back. Jimmy G was not McDaniel's answer, but he tried to sell it like it was. He wanted Brady and cut. Yeah, and that's true. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and the funny thing about all that is after he wasn't going to get Brady, he asked Carr if he wanted to come back.
Yeah, a little too late for that.
When Carr said, "Fuck no,"
he did.
That's what he did to Jimmy. Yeah, he asked when Brady wasn't coming in. The story is he asked Carr to come back.
Look at this guy. Want to hear a good joke? The Raiders. Who makes Ross March face? Okay, that one's funny. Too much deflecting and blaming coaching. It's really the ownership that needs to go. Too much Al Davis. It's in the past. I mean, I get it, but you got to remember, Mark Davis isn't going anywhere. He cannot sell the team. He doesn't own it.
No,
it's Mommy that owns it. Mommy Davis owns it. So as long as she's still alive, that team's not going to leave the Davis family trust or whatever. It's going to stay right where it is. Once she moves on, once she passes away, then it's however she leaves it. Like, does she leave it entirely to Mark? Does it go into a? Who knows? Nobody's going to know that until it actually happens. So until she's gone, Mark. Yeah, I don't see. I think Mark will still want to try and keep the team for himself and just sell off more ownership. But I think for the best interest of the team and the fan base and the sport itself, it would be for him to probably move on. Really. Can I ever imagine the Davis family not being involved with the Raiders? No, I can't. After all these years from 1960 to now. Kids
You
been
will
part of
no you, you
this
will
legacy.
after Mark Davis. There is no other Davis after Mark
No,
Davis.
there's nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's going to end with him
So
no matter what,
you know,
whether
and
he
he's in
sells
his
it
what
or he
60s
passes
already,
it.
70s, something like that. So I
Yeah,
mean,
push
you
on
know, there is no other
70.
Davis after Mark Davis, and that might be what
No.
he's trying to set up here with all this little bit of selling, the Brady situation. You know, who
Mhm.
knows? We're not in that office
Yeah.
to know, but it kind of that's what it feels like is, you know, he's trying to set up, you know, going into all that. But, you know, if it wasn't for Mark Davis, they wouldn't be in Las Vegas. They wouldn't have the money that they have to be able to do what they're
Yep.
doing now, too. Mark Davis is not Al Davis. He doesn't know football like Al Davis, but he is a better businessman than Al Davis was.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
there's a story out there you can talk about. It was God damn it, what's her name? Amy Trask in one of her books or told a story. Mark Davis actually told her he was about to sell the team. He was ready to give up and sell the team because they were cash strapped all the time, and he was done dealing with it. And she said, "No, let me find you the money that we need for this year," and that's what's kept it. So, I mean, you go either side. You want a businessman or do you want a football guy? You generally don't get both. Al Davis was, again, you know that you know the only head coach, GM. Oh damn it! Anyways, you know, he had all these things. You know, he was a football guy. He knew football better than anybody else. He turned the Raiders into what they are. Now you're just trying, you know, you're hoping Mark Davis can fill those shoes, and he knows he can't do it. He's just trying to find that right person, which is going to be the GM. He has to fight the right GM to be able to do the job and go from there. And he just hasn't been able to find it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Al Davis never hired a GM. He was the GM.
He
He
was
did
the
all the
GM.
decisions.
Mhm.
He was the
well, he
GM,
called
the
all. He
president,
called all. Yeah,
everything.
he
He
called all
called
the
the shots.
shots. He wouldn't let anybody do anything else. You know, I mean, from a business standpoint, I mean, Mark Davis moving the team to Vegas was the smartest. You know, was the best move he could have made at that point. Because, granted, if they would have stayed in Oakland, who knows what would have happened to them? I mean, they weren't getting a new stadium. That's for damn sure. Not
Yeah.
there.
Not in
You
Oakland. I
know,
mean, fuck, Oakland ran out the A's. They ran out every
I
damn
mean,
professional team they had.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
team went from
they ran the
a value
A's,
of
the
about what?
Warriors. They went
Yeah,
everybody out.
the team went from a value of what, about 4 or 500 million to like a couple billion now, being in
No,
Vegas.
they're closer to 7 billion now.
Yeah,
seven
they up
billion
there.
now. You know,
The
so I mean,
richest team in the
like I
NFL.
said, for a business standpoint,
Where's Savage?
it
I need
was
that graphic. He has that graphic. God damn it. We have a graphic. And I think it's up, you know, since the move to Vegas, it's gone up. I think it's closer to like
yeah.
7 billion.
Yeah, they're up
So
there.
I mean, again, you know, it was a smart move in that way. I mean, he never would have gotten a stadium like he has now if they would have stayed in Oakland. They
Mm-mm.
weren't going to get that. No
And
way.
again, he's got the
They'd
money to
lucky if
be
they'd
able
get a
to.
high school a high school field from Oakland. They weren't going to get shit from that.
No, just a rundown stadium that they were saying, you know, oh, we'll try to make things better, but you know, wouldn't do shit. I mean, things are what they are in that. It's just he needs to stop having so many people in his ear and listening to everybody else and to sit there and find somebody he could trust. And that's where this supposedly Brady decision came in. Find somebody he could trust that has football knowledge and listen to them to get the right people in line in that front office so he can just sit back, be the owner, and let them make all the football decisions because he does not have the football knowledge that his father had.
Hey, look, Chris just posted it. In 2024,
Yeah.
the franchise
Okay.
value amounted to around 6.7 billion US dollars. That's pretty damn good from talk about a
Yeah.
return on your investment, just like draft picks, return on your investment.
I was close. I'll
You know,
take it.
and
Yeah,
Joseph's
that's around 7 million.
and Joseph's post right here is: do you think billionaires will bring in fans and celebrate them, or former rate grade players? And he goes, no, they won't. They don't give it. And it's true. I mean, it. You can see that they, in a way, they don't cater to the fans like they have in the past. You know, one of the biggest things on a personal level for myself that the Raiders did that I think had a big impact on the Raider fandom is once they moved to from Oakland to Las Vegas, they pretty much did away with any type of recognition of any of the booster clubs. Like before, there used to be a section in the Raiders.com website where you could go in and see all the booster clubs in the country and all the contact information. So if I wanted to reach out to the booster club, say in Sacramento or whatever, I could just go to the website, look them up on there, get their phone number, reach out to their president or whatever, or if somebody wanted to know about the club that I'm in, they could look it up, get it, get our information from the president, speak to them. Like the Raiders are coming here to play the Patriots. You know, they can't go and do that anymore because there is no mention whatsoever on the Raider website about anything to do with
You
booster
can't even
clubs.
become an official booster club anymore. I
No,
tried.
Yeah.
no,
There's nobody
it
to
doesn't even
contact. I started
exist.
my club and wanted to get there, and now I mean, there's no way to even do it. There's no way to find it. You can't contact anybody. There's nothing in there for people who are starting some of these newer clubs like mine to be able to get there and try to get any recognition or have find out even what guidelines I need, whatever it is to try to do all this shit.
There
It's
isn't
just
any. That's
non-existent.
just it. That there's no guidelines anymore. That there's nothing. Um, like all of our merchandise, like all of our banners and everything that we have for the New England Raider Booster Club, everything says, officially recognized Booster Club of the Oakland Raiders, and anything new we get right now. Until then, until the Raiders send me a letter and say cease and desist, you can't do this anymore. I'm not changing the banners. I'm not changing anything. Everything's still going to say, officially recognized Booster Club of the Las Vegas Raiders. We're not doing away with any of that until we're told by them don't do that anymore. It's a word that you're going to tell me I can't put the word Las Vegas Raiders on there. So I can see if we're using the logos and all that. I get that part, but I'm just using the words of a city followed by another word named the Raiders. So I could still put it on there regardless. Not changing it, not doing it. Again, unless they give us a letter that says, you this doesn't exist, you can't do this.
Well, they can't
Then,
find you no more. They got rid of the list. They don't know how to
yeah,
get
how are they
you.
gonna find me? Huh, huh. So I mean that definitely had, I think, an impact. Which is why I was so not emotional, but that's why when I did the Friday night show, I made so much of a comment that a long thing about Morris Bradshaw because of what he meant to the booster clubs in Raider Nation. Which is why I reached out to our former president to post something on our Facebook page, and because he had a personal relationship with Morris Bradshaw. A lot of people don't even know who Morris Bradshaw is. If you look him up, you'll find out that he was a player for the Raiders at one point. He was part of our Super Bowl team. But when he was done playing, he became an administrator with the Oakland Raiders, and his primary job was he was the liaison for all the booster clubs. So if you wanted to form a booster club, that's who you reached out to. That's who you submitted your application and your letter to. And he would reach out and talk, call the clubs every now and then, call the presidents, see how you were doing. I know Jason, our former president, had met him quite a few times when they've gone out to Oakland. So it was that personal connection from the organization to the fans, which you just don't have that anymore now. Now everything is, you know, emails, social media, everything's that way now. Everything's so unpersonable. This is some of the most personable stuff you get to do now. Being on these shows and, podcasts and talking to each other, getting different opinions. This is how we now have to grow the fandom, for the Raider organization is doing this, you know, getting the message out there of who this team is, what they used to be, what they could be again. I miss those days. Asylum, you've been around for a long time. Chris, I know you've been a Raiders fan for a super long time. All three of us have been, through the glory years, and trying to still bring that to the forefront to, the younger fans like LV Raider 10. He's a younger kid. He only knows of the history by looking back on old YouTube videos or NFL films, to actually hear some of us talk about, seeing some of these players and being around them and everything. I mean, that's something that he's not going to get anywhere else than talking to someone like ourselves, you know? So it's up to us now as fans in this position to, recognize other fans and get other people excited for this team. Some people don't like the things we say, but I don't really give a shit.
I
It's just
like
how I
asshole.
feel.
I remember when the
Yeah.
Raiders were. I remember the Raiders were in L.A. There was
Yeah.
always some function going on with the Raider player, not just the third string. So I'm talking about the top players. I mean, even Marcus Allen was at a bar promoting the LA Raiders. There's always something like that. I don't get up that much. I don't know if they still go on, but in the day it was always every weekend, Monday through Saturday. There was something going on with the Raiders, the fan base.
Even when they were in Oakland, glory days, and even leading up, Ricky's Sports Bar, in San Leandro, we had Raiders players who would always drop by there just to, after the games, just different things. And, you never know who you could run into and get stories from and shit like that. And, you had all those staples like that where you could just go and, kick it with other Raiders fans, do this, watch games if you couldn't make it to the game, different situations like that. And then, the Hilton Hotel out there in Oakland, half the time you'd run into Raiders players out there just because they were staying out there for whatever reason, this, at the other, hell, in the glory days, you could even be at the hospital. You never know.
They were at a place called Margarita Jones right by the Coliseum, man. That was the hangout. You just go there, hang out with some Raider fans, cheerleaders, all of them, just hang out. I don't know if they do that now or not. I don't know that they're overprotective, but don't seem like they're doing it.
My daughter, at I can't even remember what age, when she was real little, she was a cheerleader, and she got to cheer on the field with the Raiders in Oakland, with the Raiderettes, right before the game. They did a whole thing.
That's cool.
So, I mean, they used to, I know there was times I've been on the field a couple times, for the flag ceremony and shit, rolling out the flag and everything right before the game, the big flag that went across, the whole field. So, I mean, you were always running into people. They always had shit like that going on. They had the, season ticket holder. You get in a raffle, you do that. I mean, it was just so much shit that you could do. You could run into, like you said, all the stories. I mean, I know Savage has a shit ton more stories than I do, being, since his dad was part of the original Black Hole when it started. And there was all kinds of things going there. And, stories about players, this, and being involved with that, So, and I don't think you see that too much because it's now gone corporate.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think Joseph Parra's saying too. He's talking about those that want Mark Davis to sell to some billionaire. Mark Davis may not know football, but he does things for the Raider greats and fans, and he does, and I agree with that. You won't see it with the hedge fund, and you're absolutely correct there too. But that's where it needs to be. The fan base that reminds these, whoever the potential future owner when that time comes, that this is what Raider Nation's about. This is, and that's also falls to the alumni too, the guys, the former players, being vocal about to the new owners saying, hey, we need to make sure we keep this tradition going too. Like the alumni weekend they have every year. I don't want to see that stop.
That's what I
Fans
think
And
is good.
talk to the players. They say no other teams do that.
Yeah.
They love that about the Raiders and everything, that they have those moments. The alumni week, I mean, they're always there. The fact that there's always somebody lighting the torch at former players, they all love that and say there's no other teams that do this. And that's one thing that they've always loved and respected about the Raiders is the history, and they don't let the history die, so to speak, because they're always bringing it back, bringing it there. They're always welcomed. You see them at all the games. I mean, I ran into Cliff Branch at the damn ticket line trying to return tickets while I was trying to get somebody else's tickets, getting things going. He was just, you see them all around. They're always there. They were always a part of everything. They always had something going on with them. So, I mean,
that's why I think Richard Seymour on the part of Raiders is pretty good because he was a former Raider. So I
Yeah.
think that's pretty good. He could also hey, I pay for the team too. Not only owner, but I played.
He's also a guy that I wish would have been a Raider from day one because that's just the mentality and
Yeah.
attitude he had too. Again, another player that I got to see being here in New England, not like physically going to games and watch because you wouldn't catch me stepping a foot in that unless the Raiders are playing them. Other than that, I ain't going in that shithole. But just knowing him in the area and seeing him on TV and everything. I mean, that's a guy that had that Raider mentality. I mean, and it proved it when he got to us. And I still won't forget that game against Pittsburgh when he just basically pushed Roethlisberger's face mask back into his mouth.
That was funny.
That's still one of my favorite moments right there. But Nate, who's what Raider players, like former or current, have you ever met in person?
Oh, I've met a bunch of them. I've met Nate Hobbs. I met Daniel Carlson, AJ Cole, Max Crosby, Jacorian Bennett, Thayer Munford, Dylan Parham, Alex Bars, Isaiah Palomau. I go to this thing every single year where the Raiders play the Golden Knights, the hockey team in Vegas. They play a charity softball game every single year in July. I go every year. I meet not this past year, but the year prior to that, they had a whole pregame kind of barbecue kind of thing. They had a whole bunch of signings for both teams. There was players walking around, so I got to meet and talk to a bunch of the guys. I got a whole bunch of signatures from them. So there is still stuff like that going around. I think a big part of it is that they're still really new in Vegas. And so they haven't really established that big community where you start to see all that kind of stuff like it was in Oakland or in LA. But it is there. It is there because I do go to a bunch of that stuff. Like they have a bunch of signings. There's memorabilia stores and all around Vegas in all the hotels and stuff like that. They have a whole bunch of signings there. I have a signing right here of Tyree Wilson. Met him, talked to him a little bit. So there is stuff like that, like I'm saying, is going around. It's just they need to develop a winning team so that everybody can spread, hey, this stuff is going around, like this stuff is happening. But a winning team would definitely help that. And obviously just time. Time needs to continue going forward and to develop that community in Vegas still.
Wait, you said you got Tyree Wilson sign something for you?
Yeah, it's a picture right here.
Because this is gonna be a Hall of Famer, man. It's gonna be worth some money one day. Watch.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hey, you never know.
No, you joke, but you know what? It could happen.
You never know. He's getting better and better. So
right here behind the
apply for another
right
team.
I have Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson signed stuff that I have too. But I have a jersey. I don't think I've ever shown it on here. I mean, I could grab it right now, but I have my whole jersey with my last name has a ton of Raider signatures on there that I'm going to continue to get because, like I said, it's super easy to talk to, especially in the off season. Players aren't so intense. Like when you go to a game and you try to get signatures, people are not as on edge, like trying to get ready. They're not in the zone. They're way easier to talk to. They're a lot more friendly. So I think that's the best environment for me personally that I've been in interacting with, players and people, organizational people. So I really like that kind of stuff. So.
Well, Savage, I didn't ask who you met, but thank you for the list. So let's see. You got Jack Tatum, Raymond Chester, Bill Romanowski, John Vella. I've met John Vella. Run Jones, Lincoln Kennedy, Charles Woodson, Cliff.
Everybody, Charles Woodson. Charles was out there. Everybody meet him.
I've never met him in person. Wasn't I there for the Romanowski? Oh, yeah. Actually played softball with Seawood and Cliff Branch in the same game. Oh, nice.
That's cool.
No,
I bet. I know. I'm saying I don't want to brag, but I met the two best cornerbacks in Raider history. So
Mike
top
Haynes
4 or 5.
Mike
Haynes. Mike Haynes. I've been both at the same time, man. I was like, whoa. They couldn't get an autograph from them because they were busy, but yeah. I'm like,
yeah. Who else have you met?
For me,
Fred.
I met Oh, Marcus Allen, Lincoln Kennedy. I met Art Shell. That's a big man.
Oh yeah.
God damn. I thought I was a little kid next to him. Art Shell, Rod Martin. I did meet Plunkett. I saw him, but he was too busy crowded. I couldn't get close to him. There's a couple other players I met. I can't remember all of them, but yeah, those guys I met. That's what we're doing in LA.
What was you saying, Nate? You got Marcus Allen, right? Isn't that the one you forgot?
No. Fred Berlinikoff and Jim Otto. Remember I was telling the story? I don't know. I told the story of my girlfriend. Yeah. So I'll say it again, but my girlfriend, we were in Vegas at the M Resort, and that's like the Las Vegas resort or whatever, or the Raiders resort. I'm sorry, and Jim Otto and Fred Belindikoff were in the lobby, and my girlfriend goes up to Fred Belindikoff and goes, "Excuse me, like, can you move? I'm trying to take a picture of the thing, like, right here behind him." And he's like, "Okay, like, whatever." And so she takes a picture and she's showing me, and I'm like not paying attention. And she's like, "Look." And I'm like, "Do you know who you just like told to move out of the way? That was Fred Belindikoff." And they're wearing their gold jackets. Like, he has the gold Hall of Fame jacket. And then Jim Otto comes in his wheelchair and he's wearing a gold Hall of Fame jacket. And she's like, "What are those jackets? Like, what is that?" And I was like, "That means they're Hall of Fame players. Like, that means they're really good." So, but yeah, it was just a funny story.
That's one person I wish I would have met in my lifetime was Jim Otto. Never met him.
Jim Otto, yeah, me too.
I
met Jim Otto.
I heard he's a class act. He's a straight class act.
Oh yeah, I know. I met Jim Otto. I actually met him at training camp. He was rolling around in his wheelchair at the time with his Raiders fake leg and aesthetic and everything. You know, all rated out and everything. I mean, he's a blast. I met Fred Blitnikoff in London in 2014. Met Ted Hendricks there too. Lincoln Kennedy. I mean, yeah, I've got a long list. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Appreciate talking with you guys.
Problem,
man. Nice seeing you again, Chris. Nice meeting you for the first time.
Yes, sir.
Anytime you need me again, just hit me up and let me know.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Later. Savage, you can have him back now. Guys I've met Ted Hendricks right here in Rhode Island. All these guys I'm telling you about, I've met here in Rhode Island. Ted Hendricks, Cliff Branch, and Khalil Mack. And the only reason I met them is when they came here in 2014. One of the guys in the club had a buddy that worked at the restaurant at the hotel they were staying at, and he found out ahead of time that that's where they were staying. So a bunch of us met at the hotel. They had already gotten there. We thought they hadn't gotten there yet, but they were already inside. So I went inside, and my wife walked in behind me. Khalil Mack was walking right by me, and I'm 6 even. And at the time, I was probably about 300, roughly 300 pounds. And I felt like a midget next to him, just like height wise, and just, I mean, the wingspan. I mean, his arms were just huge. He went walking by me, and then I'm outside. My son came with us too. So everybody else went inside for a little while. And I'm standing there, and I look over. I'm like, see this guy, skinny black guy wearing a suit and a Raiders baseball hat. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I nudged my son. I said, I think that's Cliff Branch. I mean, sorry, not Cliff Branch, Willie Brown. He goes, what? No. I said, I'm telling you, I think it is. He's out there smoking a cigarette. So I walk a little bit closer. I'm like, I'm telling you, Jay, it's him. It's him. So we get real close, and I'm like, I know it's him now. I can see him as clear as day. It's him. So I go over, hey, Mr. Brown. He goes, hey, how you doing? Shook my hand. We're sitting there talking and introduced my son to him and everything. And again, 2014, so everybody had cell phones already. Do you think I'd even think about taking my phone out of my goddamn pocket and taking a picture of us with him? Nope. never thought even crossed my mind because I was just so starstruck, because I mean I met a guy I watched play as a kid, watch just seeing him and talking to him and listening to him, tell some of his story. I I was just in amazement. I'm like, this is like one of the happiest days of my life watching this, and I'm getting to share it with my son standing next to me. Listen to this guy talk to one of my heroes on the Raiders. Um, I've met Phil Villapiano a few different times. Those were in New Jersey. Henry Lawrence, another big guy. Henry Lawrence. He was part of the Super Bowl teams too in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, Lawrence. Yeah, he was a lineman.
Yeah. John Veller I've met. Um, Mark Van Egan, because Mark Van Egan lives here in Rhode Island. Ted Hendricks was here for one of those Special Olympic sports carnivals at the Civic Center in Providence. And when I tell you, everybody, he was always a weird cat when he was playing, and just his off field and on sideline antics were always hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
The day of that event, he's standing, taking autographs and taking pictures. Back then, when you got a signed picture or took a picture with him, everything was on Polaroids. Mate, I don't know if you know what a Polaroid is.
Yes, it's
But everything was on everything was on Polaroids. So I got a picture of him and I standing together. He had on if I remember correctly, it was a white button-down shirt. He had this weird colored blue blazer on, and then his pants looked like they came right out of the Sunday comics. Like you'd hold it up from a distance and you just see the mishmash of colors all over the place. That's what his pants looked like. So his pants were like all multicolored, and this was 1990. I think this was 90 or 91 when I met. Actually, 90. I think it was 90. So that was cool because he was funny. He was hilarious. I don't think I've met. I don't think I've met anyone else. I mean, I've seen Al Davis drive by on the bus when they came here in '93 to play the Patriots. I saw the whole team. I'm walking towards the stadium, and both buses passed me. I'm the only person where I'm walking, and I'm out there like an idiot with my hands up, yelling as the buses are driving by. And there's Al Davis in a white, track
Jumpsuit.
suit, sitting in the front seat, hands on his thigh, sitting in the front seat next to the driver, just sitting there looking like this. I
went to Raiders in L.A. I went to the game with my buddy. He's a Cowboy fan, but I had extra tickets, so he wanted to go see the Raiders play. Was it Denver? I think it was Denver, and we got there early because we want to get some beers, and plus we want to smoke our smoke and talk our crap.
Yeah.
So we got there. We was in the stadium, and this guy walking on the field in a white jumpsuit, like you said, white jumpsuit or tracksuit.
Yeah.
And my buddy said, "Who's that old far in the field? How do you get in the field?" I said, "Yeah, okay, man. That's the owner of the Raiders. He owns the Raiders. You talking about?" That's how he can walk on the field anytime he want to walk on the field.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's gonna stop him. Trust me. If they did, they'd be fired. But yeah, it's cool to meet, players of past. The only current one I ever met was obviously Khalil Mack. I don't remember some of the other guys I met when we were at that hotel. But we had a pregame party when we were down in New York for the Raiders versus the Giants weekend. And Isaiah Yukonuba, I don't know if you remember him, Chris. He was kind of a special teams guy. He did play like linebacker or something too. He showed up. We had no clue he was coming. He showed up to the pregame party, and that was pretty cool to meet him. I think that's pretty much been about it. I never met anyone, I never got to meet Bo Jackson, unfortunately, or Marcus Allen.
Mark Allen's real cool. I like him. He's a talker too. He don't seem like it, but he can talk.
Marcus Allen?
Yeah, he's a talker.
Really?
When he gets going, well, I guess when he has some whatever he was drinking. But we met him at the place called Margarita Jones. It's a bar club, and that's where I met him at. And he had a few drinks, and so okay. And he was talking about the good old day because he played at USC. So he played at USC, so he knows the area. So It was talking. He wasn't talking to me directly, but he was talking. I was listening, like, oh, talking about his, his history, how much fun he had. This is before the Al Davis debacle with Marcus Allen. Way before.
Yeah.
I think it's before. It's before they won the
Before,
Super Bowl.
before he
with Marcus
became a
Allen.
chief. Still can't believe
Well, he
he let him
did.
go.
He did that. He did the spite Marcus. That's all he did.
Oh yeah, I mean that was the only obvious. I mean, it's the only place he could have gone to really piss us off.
I gotta get off in a minute, but I want to ask a couple of questions before I leave.
Yeah, go ahead.
I asked LV first. Okay, besides a quarterback in the first round, who do you want to see Raiders pick? If there's no quarterbacks available, but if there is no quarterbacks available, who you want the Raiders to pick? In the first
So
round?
I don't think the quarterbacks are going to be available. I honestly, they might go 1-2 now, knowing that it's Tennessee and Cleveland. They might go 1-2, honestly. But who I'm eyeing is I really like Will Johnson out of Michigan. And then I seen it earlier in the comments. I like T-Mac to Torrey McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. I think there's a lot of talent, but I would say those are the two players I think are suited for that. What do we have? 6 officially now? 6.
Pick
There's
six.
six, yeah. There's
Yeah,
six.
I think those are the two that I think will possibly fall down. I'm even available or willing to go with Mason Graham. He plays defensive tackle for the Michigan as well. But yeah, I think those 3 guys are the high talent players that we possibly could fall to 6.
What about Abdul Qadir? You know,
Honestly, he might go before. I think he's.
yeah, that's true.
I do like him a lot, but he might go, to be honest.
I see
Carter.
Cleveland taking him, to be honest with you.
Abdul Carter. Remember who he is? I know who he is.
He's a
Who is he?
defensive
Penn State,
defensive end from Penn State.
I say, yeah. I can't think of his name. That's what I was saying. That guy from mistake, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see Cleveland possibly grabbing him and sticking with their quarterbacks because you pair him up now with Myles Garrett. Oh, good God.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nasty. And then the Giants would take Cam Ward at that point, so both quarterbacks would still be off.
Those quarterbacks ain't getting past the first 3 picks.
No, unless Raiders trade up. But like you said, I heard you earlier before I got on. I don't see why we're gonna lose draft capital to get a quarterback that might not work out. You don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. Why are you going to give up a valued pick like that to move up for and another pick? That means you're giving up 2 draft picks.
Yeah,
because no one's just going to swap first round picks with you.
No, definitely not.
No. They all want a first next year and a third this year.
They know they got you over a barrel, so if you want that pick, you have to pay up a little bit.
I want to know
we can't afford. We can't.
Or
I want
to see, or I want to think, like, what does Shador and his camp think now that it's Tennessee and Cleveland at 1 and 2? Like, because for a minute he was like New York or Vegas, and he's like, I'm living large. Like New York and Vegas, those are 2 top, like destinations for them. But now it's Tennessee and Cleveland. Like, he's probably in shambles right now. Like,
he's small market.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you think about it, you're going from the biggest market in New York to 2 of the shittiest ones. I mean, granted, the Vegas market's not that big, but
it's close to LA.
Still a better destination, yeah.
It's close to LA and all that stuff.
And that's where they get that's where it pays off, is you're close to that LA Hollywood lifestyle. Now, and then you're gonna possibly go to fucking Tennessee and Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to pick out of the 2, I'd rather go to Tennessee, but.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you want to go to Cleveland for. That's like taking a fucking, vacation to the slum somewhere. It's like, why would you want to go and get stuck in Cleveland? Ugh.
You think
Ohio in general?
You think Tennessee's gonna take a quarterback? They got one already. I know they're not high on Levis.
I can't see them. Yeah, I can't see them going with Levis full time next year too. They're gonna be in the same situation they're in this year.
But that's 2. That'd be 2. Like, Levis like 2 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like basically like 2 rookie quarterbacks on your roster. Why get a quarterback?
Well, they had that too, and they got rid of Malik Willis. So
I was just
it's
gonna say,
like,
if you go back in their history and look at what they've taken the last few years, they've they've taken quarterbacks for quite a
and
few years in a row.
Malik Willis was another second round pick too.
Yeah,
So they took a
He's not
high
a bad
draft capital
quarterback.
guy.
He's
they
not a
just
bad
didn't do their
quarterback.
homework. That's what that comes down to. They just didn't. They didn't look into
Yeah.
enough.
If they were smart, they would take Travis, but I don't think they're smart.
No. No, that's
They
who's
just
the
have
pick number?
no weapons. Their
Who has
weapons
the
are so
third?
lame there.
Who has the fourth pick?
I
I don't
had
even know what
just
draft order
seen
they
it.
are.
Let's see.
Yeah, I did too. I forget who it is now.
Anybody in the chat know who got the fourth pick?
Let's see.
I know. Guys,
So it's Tennessee, Cleveland, Giants, New England.
New
New
England.
England.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's Jacksonville and New England are right in front of us.
I mean, the good thing for my theory is the teams that are picking ahead of us need quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So that helps my thought process on this, on why we don't need either one of them, because they're not going to be there, I hope.
But that guy from
No.
Penn State still hasn't made a decision yet. He said he was going back, but he hasn't actually said he was, made it a true commitment. I guess
can
he
see him
depends
going
on
to New
Penn
England.
State. Who, Alar?
Oh, the quarterback? My bad. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about Abdul Carter.
No,
Nah.
Drew Alar from Penn State.
Yeah.
He hasn't. Yeah, he said he's gonna go back to school, but he still made that final decision. I guess it
Right.
depends on what they do in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So he could come up.
If I'm New England, the smart money is on taking the best wide receiver. That they need talent. They need
Yeah.
skill players.
T-Mac will go there for sure. I'm
They
thinking
need-
T-Mac
they
will
need
go
a
to New England or
definite-
Jacksonville.
Yeah, they need a wide receiver threat. because
Nashville need that too, Rob.
that's what
Playmaker.
that quarterback needs the most help with right now. Is he
Mhm.
needs somebody that he can rely on. He's got a good running back with Ramondre Stevenson, so he's good there. His tight ends are serviceable. The O line probably needs some help too, but they need a wide receiver really
So
bad.
is Jacksonville. They need a playmaker. They don't have one.
And that's why I think Travis
That's why Lawrence.
Hunter would.
Travis
I think
Hunter
Travis Hunter could go to Jacksonville. I think they'd be
That's
crazy
what-
not to take him.
But Lawrence had a lousy year because they had nobody to throw to. So, yeah, he's not a bad quarterback, but he had nobody to throw to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Well, fellas, I'm gonna call it a night.
All right, brother.
Go ahead and finish
Sounds
up my
good.
dinner.
Oh,
LB,
yep.
nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, man.
Jeff, when you back on again?
I was thinking about pulling up a Monday night slot because I don't think anybody else, right, Nate? I don't think anybody else is on a Monday nights, right?
Not that I know. It's
I think what's going to happen tomorrow if AP gets fired or rehired or whatever.
Everybody and their brothers.
Everybody's going to
Yeah.
be on. Everybody's going to be on. So
Mhm.
we'll see. Let's see if we find something in the next 2 hours.
yeah, right.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to come on again, like right now, because I was like, if it happens, at least I can be on when it happens.
right.
Breaking news, huh?
Yeah. It's the latest news from the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, no. But yeah, I think I might take up a Monday night slot going forward. So I might be on tomorrow night.
All right.
If I do, it'll probably be like 9:00 my time, which you're in Cali, right, Chris?
Yeah, it'd be 6. Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
I mean, I could push it back to like 10 or so, maybe even 11. It's not too late.
Where are you located, LD Raider? Are you in Vegas?
I'm in LA.
Yeah, no, I see that SC stick poster back there. I'm an SC fan too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, big time SC fan.
Yeah, me too. So, all right. Well, good night, guys.
All right,
Let's
later,
hope
Chris.
let's hope for
Thanks
the
for
best
hopping on.
tomorrow. See what happens. Oh, always.
Oh, yeah.
When you're on.
Yep.
All right, later.
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 This is almost like we're doing our Raiders coast to coast. We need to figure out when we're gonna do that again too, I guess.
Yeah, I think now since the whole all the holidays are done now, I think it'll
That
be
really fucked That fucked everything up, man. For
Yeah,
everybody.
exactly. And it all happened on Wednesdays, so it was like,
Mhm.
well, we're all fucking, But I
Yeah.
think now that it's over with, we can continue to start to do it on Thursdays. How we
Yeah,
were
I'm fine with
planning.
Thursdays. Thursday works. There's no
Yeah,
one else really on.
right.
So, yeah, that works for me. Going back to Thursday nights for that show for sure. Um, I do want to do um, like a mock draft
Oh yeah.
for sure. Um, like actually physically either doing it while we're on, on a live,
Hmm.
do it at that moment. If we can set something like that up, we can talk about that off camera at another time. Um, but I definitely want to do that. I want to do one offline for the hell of it, just because, one where I can go in and do, um, trades for picks and shit like that, and I'll see what I can do.
Let's see.
That's
I just
that.
want to see if this works. Oh, yep. There's the tankathon. See if I could. Yeah, because this was the draft order that I
Yeah.
had pulled up, and I know I don't know. Do this one? See, okay, this is what they have projected as the
Okay.
look at. They have us projected picking Will Johnson here,
Oh, from
which
Michigan. Yeah.
So they have Shador, Cam Ward, which what I said the two are gonna go probably 1 and 2. Travis Hunter
Yeah.
going to New York, which I can definitely see. T Mac going to. I honestly can definitely see this happening exactly how this goes right here. Shador, Cam
Yeah.
Ward, Travis Hunter, Tesori McMillan, Mason Graham, and then we get Will Johnson. I am not against falling down to get Will Johnson there. That seems to me like possibly the best pick. Or Abdul Carter, which is projected to go right after us for the Jets. But the Jets, they definitely need an edge rusher for sure. So I'm cool with Abdul Carter, Will Johnson right here at 6.
Yeah.
That'd
I'm
be
looking this
that's
way because
nice
I
for
got
me.
my monitor over here. So,
Yeah,
um,
I'm looking that way too.
uh, see if Cam Ward if those quarterbacks go 1 and 2, and New York takes that, then you know what that's telling me, that the Giants are either going to try and jump back in at the end of the first round, or at their first pick in the second round, they're going quarterback.
Is this two? This is 2 rounds. They have Milrow
Milrow.
in the
Oh, see, look,
second. They have us Quinn Ewers. I don't like that at all.
I don't like that one at all.
I don't.
Uh-uh.
Let's see who else is over here. Josh Connerly. If I mean, I would take offensive tackle there rather than Quinn Ewers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a lot. Or JT Tuimalo
I don't
is
like that.
good
Yours.
too. I don't
I
like
don't
the
like
Ewers
that.
pick here that they have projected in the second. They have Caleb Johnson in the third for us, and that's all this for. They have Jackson Dart going
No,
99 overall.
go back into the third because we got 2 picks in there. Who's the other one they got for us?
Oh, Evan Stewart. Oh, they have a trade happening. Oh, no, sorry. This is the one
That's
that
the
the
trade for the
Jets.
Jets. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Devontae Adams pick.
Evan Stewart, I like that. It's not bad.
Where do they have Scatterbo on here? I'm curious.
Scadabo's down here in 97.
Really?
They have Jackson Dart and Cam Scadabo going in the bottom of the third round. I would gladly take Scadabo here and Dart here.
Uh-huh.
I
That's what I was
gladly,
saying.
gladly.
That's what I was talking second round.
Oh yeah,
Taking Dart in the second round.
yeah. Because
And
after the performance from his bowl game, he'll probably shoot up a lot of boards.
I think they're both gonna move up. I think their
Yeah,
stocks going up for both of them.
yeah.
But yeah, I like I like us taking either at number 37, either Dart
Hmm.
or Scatterbo. I don't care, whoever. Even if we can take that third round pick and move back up into the second higher and take both of them
Yeah, because
closer, so we
they have
guarantee to
like
get them.
Emory Jones up here at the bottom of the second, who's a really good offensive tackle. They
Hmm.
have Quishon Judkins down here, is really good running. They have Jack Sawyer at the end of the fucking second round too. So there's a lot of good talent in this draft. That are not quarterbacks. That's the Raiders' problem.
What's that? What's our pick at 68? What is that? It's so
That's
blurry.
Caleb John.
You know what?
Yeah,
Hang on.
Caleb Johnson, the running back from Iowa.
I can still barely read it. So fuzzy. Yeah. Then who's that? Oh, who the hell's that at 73? Oh, there you go. Oh, why don't you do that in the beginning? The fuck? I'm over here struggling. My
Sorry.
old man eyes. That's right. Caleb Johnson.
Caleb Johnson, the running back from Iowa.
I mean, I like him, but I still think I'd rather have Scatterbo than him.
I would rather. That's what I'm saying. So like here at 68, Scatabo or Dart. Probably Dart first because the quarterback
I
is going to
just,
be higher.
I just see. I think they might. Yeah, I think they're both going to go higher.
Yeah. But yeah,
Do it. I'm okay with. I don't have a problem with that one. The biggest one I question on here is the
the Quinn Ewers in the second.
yeah. Oh
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
no, 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 no.
Where do they have what's his name from Oregon? Dylan Gabriel. I haven't seen his name pop up yet.
Oh, that's a good question.
Dylan Gabriel.
Because I think he's going to move up too, unless he was further.
I didn't see him. Let me see. Maybe in this first? No. Nope. Nope. They have Genty going to the Cowboys.
That's a no-brainer. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think that's going to
that's
happen.
a Cowboy pick written all over it.
I'm surprised they have Emeka Egbuka going this high as well.
I don't know enough about him.
He's a good receiver out of Ohio State. Ohio State has a great fucking receivers.
That 37 pick, just the thought of it makes me want to throw
Yeah,
up.
that's nasty. That is nasty. Yeah, I don't
Even
see Gabriel.
even Milrow at 34.
Yeah, that's way too high for Milrow. Way too
Yeah.
high. But
Yeah.
I think they're thinking because the Raiders and the Giants missed out on the two top quarterbacks that they're going to be struggling, and they're like, all right, we need to draft a quarterback, especially with our next pick.
Not those two.
That's what I'm assuming that they're going with here. But yeah, those two, I'm good with. I'm good off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Gabriel.
Well, that means they got him like what, in the fourth or fifth round?
Yeah, which I'm surprised about. Yeah, because that's crazy.
Jackson got it. Number, what was that? 99?
Yeah, 99. I don't think he goes that low.
No, I don't either.
Or Scatabo at 97. He definitely doesn't.
Yeah, either one of them. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna be doing a lot of these mock drafts and these that kind of stuff coming up, especially since it's
those first two picks couldn't be better than
off-season.
that's exactly what I want to have happen.
Because you want those two quarterbacks off the board.
I want those two off the board, so there's no doubt. I just don't want to have to deal with that shit.
This is exactly how I thought it would go. Or I
even
think it's gonna go.
even 6 and 7, if we flip flop, I'm fine either way. I'll take either one of them. I don't care who we get out of those two.
Same.
I just think that Johnson could be an immediate plug-in, whereas Carter may not. He may be a starter in season 1, but a little bit further into the season.
Yeah.
Because it might not be as much of a necessity unless he is just so phenomenal, in preseason and everything.
Right.
But I think Johnson's going to be a necessity to start from day one just because of our division alone and who we have to play against.
And especially if we don't resign like Nate Hobbs, if he goes, we're gonna lose. If we don't decide to re-sign a lot of people, our secondary is gonna need a lot of help. So that's what I'm saying. I really like the Will Johnson pick, and I think he's a fucking baller.
Yeah, like I said, he's an immediate plug and play. Without a doubt, he's pro ready, just like Sauce Gardner was. I mean, right out of college, that kid was ready to go.
Oh yeah.
This kid is pretty much right at that same. I'm not saying he's Sauce Gardner, but he's pretty damn near close in my
He's
eyes.
pretty close to Sauce Gardner. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, I think he is, especially coming out of college and the hype that Sauce Gardner got
Yeah.
at least. Obviously Will Johnson doesn't have that kind of hype around him, but I think that's because the two quarterbacks are extremely needed for these top teams right now. It's
Yeah.
kind of getting overshadowed with who's arguably the best defensive player in this draft.
All right. I'm gonna probably call it a night.
Yep, sounds
Already
good.
it's 1:30 here now.
Yeah.
So, all right. I will talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Uh, anybody that's still watching, thanks for tuning in. Give them your plug wherever they can reach you at.
Yes, sir. So please follow me right here. That's on this side at LV Raider 10. It's all of my socials. I just started a gaming channel, so you can find that on YouTube as well. That's LV Raider Gaming on YouTube. I'll be posting a lot on there during the off season. When there's a little less Raider stuff going on. But yeah, follow me at LV Raider 10. All of my socials. Yep.
I might start getting into that Tecmo Bowl thing that Afakashi does.
Yeah, that's really cool. I honestly, I was thinking about
I've
doing
been
the same thing.
watching him every more and more now, watching that, and I was talking to him today. I'm like, I got to come up with something in the off season,
Yeah,
other than I'm still going to do Raider content like yourself with our stuff and everything, but
yeah.
I got to do something else to. It's either that or I get back into doing the military models again, but
Hmm.
that's a whole different channel. Whereas the tech market still kind of feeded off of this one,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I was thinking about covering like the Angels, but fuck, there's so many games in baseball. It's gonna be so hard to do that.
That's why I don't do fantasy baseball either. Fantasy
Yeah,
baseball, it's if you're not staying on top of it every goddamn day because there's guys go on DLs like crazy. You
yeah.
know, this guy's not playing today, but he's playing tomorrow.
Hmm.
Baseball fantasy is just too much shit. Football's easy. One game a week.
Yeah, one game a week, it's easy to follow.
Yeah. If a guy's injured this week, more than likely he's not going to play. You know, it's so easy to keep track of. Plus, it's
Yeah,
more fun. Plus, I
extremely.
hate baseball. Baseball's boring.
Baseball is. I don't think it's boring, but it's really
It's,
hard to.
if you go to the game, it's different. Like I've gone to the Boston Red Sox games. That's it's different. When you watch it on TV, it's like, ugh. It's just I'd rather sit here, paint the wall, and just sit here and watch it till it dries. It's so boring.
Yeah, the Angels suck, so I go to like 30 games a year because they're like $5. So I go
There you
to
go.
a
It's cheap.
ton of baseball games.
Yeah, going to Red Sox games nice though. That's fun. That was a good time. Plus the stadium's so nostalgic. That's the other
Oh
thing.
yeah,
It's
that's my
it's
top
the oldest
stadium I want to go
stadium
to.
in the league, I think, except for Wrigley.
Yeah, those
So
two are up
yeah,
there.
it's a nice stadium. It's not a nice stadium, but it's different. The atmosphere is
Hmm.
just you can't beat it.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when they play the Neil Diamond song too. First time I ever went there when they did that, I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. Like you see
Uh-huh.
it on TV, you see it in the movie, but when you're there, it's like, because the whole crowd's singing it.
Uh-huh.
Everybody.
That's
It's
sick.
not a single soul that's not singing. I swear to God, I've seen people in the concession stand standing there singing it. It's hilarious. But all right, brother, I will
All right,
talk to
man.
you. We'll get back on track this week with our show too. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. You know where to reach him at. LV Rated 10. Find him on all the social media platforms under that. The two of us are on a show together on Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Time, called The Raider Connection. It's the two of us, along with Jay, uh, Just Win Raiders Baby, and Cheeto Linus. So it's the four of us on that show. Normally what we do is we talk about the game coming up, but because we're now past that, we're going to be switching gears into the off season. Um, and we also have a show that LV10 and I do together. That is Raiders Coast to Coast, me being on the East Coast, him being on the West Coast, hence the Raiders Coast to Coast, where we pretty much talk about the game that just happened. And now that the season's over, we'll be talking about all the off-season stuff coming up.
Yep.
So tune in to that. That is also at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific. So check us out. You can find me at any_Raider Boosters on YouTube. I've put in the Linktree account here before too. That will take you to all the social media that I am on with the Booster Club. And check us out. I probably will go on again tomorrow night, probably between 9 and 10 o'clock Monday evening, or tonight at this point, because it's now 1:30 in the morning here. So until next time, everybody stay safe. Have a good night. Go Raiders.